The national IP version 6 launch is open. Better? Okay, seems to be. Well, first of all, we are occasionally asked to regulate the IP version 6. Last time I had a phone call around 1 week ago. But it's not the way we want to do it. I mean, we could actually have a power to mandate operators to provide IP version 6, but it's not really the way the legislation is supposed to be used. So I'm now going to tell you about the mechanism we are trying to use to get the IPv6 into use in Finland. And well, first of all, we have been talking about this protocol for something like 15 years by now. And I got a responsibility for the national IPv6 working group just 1.5 years ago. And we decided to do a recommendation. This recommendation was published this spring, and it's about some guidance how to implement IPv6 into the consumer broadband subscriptions. We know that the operators most likely have quite good support in their core network, and they can provide IPv6 for enterprise users if there's a request for that. But what we are now trying to get is to have the IPv6 into a large-scale use, to get that into the consumer subscriptions without any this kind of special request for those consumers. And well, what we have been seeing by now is that IPv6 is increasing. Around, it was one and a half years ago around. From that, the IPv6 traffic has increased 3 times. So there are something happening globally, but in Finland, there's no real movement happening. And well, we have now the recommendations for operators, what to do, how to do it, and we really want to get the deployment going on. Well, the recommendation is unfortunately available only in Finnish, so sorry for you who don't understand that well. But other people, you can probably try to Google the name of the recommendation, so you can find it quite easily from our website. Okay. It's not all. I mean, just publishing a recommendation, that doesn't really help. We can hope that the operators do their job and take that into use. Well, I don't believe that's enough. So we decided to have this kind of the national launch next summer. Well, first of all, we need some time to prepare it. And of course, the operators and other participants that are content service providers and web service providers, we have 2 categories there. They need some time to prepare themselves. So we are going to have the launch around, it's actually 1 year from now, exactly. And our main target is the broadband service providers, but we hope to get big content service providers and the web service providers to participate that event well. For example, we have been discussing with a few big players, but the project is still this kind of the preparatory phase, and we need some work still to do to get that launched. I think we'll probably get out in September or something like that. So in the autumn, there will be these websites that will publish the guidance how to participate in the event. There will be a list for the participants. And of course, we try to get also some publicity for those companies who want to get in. So, now just a few words about the requirements. I wrote here the list for the broadband service providers, but as you can see, it's not that much. Oh, I mean, of course it's much, but let's say that we have information from few of our broadband service providers that they are ready to do this. Well, there are actually few providers providing IPv6 for consumers. Well, most of they don't. And it's, of course, mainly due to the teaching the personal, but also the access network problems to actually have that deployed for all subscriptions. And I know that well, there are, for example, companies who have old DSL boxes there. So it could be the 6RD that will be used in that scenario. Otherwise, we are recommending to use native IPv6, and that's mainly, I think, possible for the fiber networks, maybe mobile networks. So we want to have the dual stack in place, and we want to have that there without the consumers to need to do anything. So it's not something they are going to come and ask that please give me IPv6. We all know that this have to happen, and I hope we can do it next year. So please deploy the IPv6 into your network, to your consumer subscriptions, and have it on permanently. That's our requirement for the launch. And of course, you have to prove it. So, well, to get listed into the website, we want to see your product description to see how you've been doing it. And we want you also to have the IPv6 forum certificate to prove your readiness. And you have to do this by the end, well, 8th of May next year. Of course, we want you to announce your participation earlier, but you have to have this ready in May. And we have a bit similar requirements also for the web service providers and content service providers. They don't, of course, have to have this kind of the subscriptions, but they have to get the IPv6 forum certificate for their own website, what will be used in the launch. And we know, for example, there are now, I think, Iltalehti.fi, for example, that has the IPv6 in their network or in their website. And we hope to get, for example, Yle to participate that as well. And I hope that every one of you actually can participate with their own website. So it's possible for everyone to have part of this task. But we also want to have this kind of the cooperation event. So if there are this kind of the non-commercial entities who want to participate the arrangement of the event, for example, well, of course it can be a commercial one too, but for example, TREX, Physics, IKI, well, ISOC Finland, whatever. So if there are this kind of the parties who want to take actions to promote this event and help us to get this event to be successful, so please contact me and well, we have a discussion later on. But I think that was the main ideas and points I wanted to share. So there will be a launch, and there are more information available in the early autumn. Thank you.
Any questions?
Hi, I'm Bill from Tampere University. Do you have a roadmap for when you are thinking about IPv6 launches for wireless broadband networks?
Thank you for the question. We are hoping to get the launch for the mobile networks as well as fixed networks. So I truly hope that we will have some mobile operators also participating in the event. So there's no special roadmap for different networks.
Any other questions? Well, you can talk to Klaus all through the day as well. Thank you, Klaus. And next up, it's rugged tooling with Risto Kauppi and Hannu Saarenpää.